Hello, vintage outboard motor fans. This is T-Mike here on Toledo Bend Lake, making another video today. Today's video is going to be episode 2 of the 9.7 horsepower. So in episode 2, we're going to take this gear case apart and find out why it's sludgy and hard to turn and all that. If you recall, in episode 1, power head was hard to pull. We took the gear case off and it was easier to pull, and we've created a spark by fixing the magneto. Now we got to fix this gear case where it spins better and we can put it back on the motor and get spark. So if everybody's ready, here we go. All right, so here's the gear case. It's got 4 screws right here you take out, and the gear case comes off. We're going to take it apart. I think it's got grease in it, and the grease is just hardened. I think, I don't know, might be oil, I'm not sure. Let's find out. Take it apart. Well, first of all, before we take it apart, watch this. I'm going to take my screwdriver. I'm going to stick it where the drive pin, the shear pin goes through. And look how hard it is to spin. Pretty hard to spin. The goal here is to get that to spin freely. So now let's take it apart. Here's the gears. So it's not greased. It's oil, but boy, it's sticky. It's pretty thick and sticky. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna soak it in my Barrowman Chem dip. I'm gonna soak it in there for 45 minutes, and the pinion gear is right here, and the drive shaft goes down in there. I'm gonna take each one of these parts out one at a time and soak them, get that gunky all off of them, lubricate them with some light 90 weight gear oil, and put it all back together, and it should spin. So we'll come back in 45 minutes and see how that came out. Okay, well, I got that gear soaking. Here's the other parts inside here. As you can see, this part comes off. That's where the prop shaft goes through. And then this pinion gear comes off. And I assume once you get this pinion gear off, the drive shaft will come out. There's the pinion gear. Now we got to get that drive shaft out. Let's try that. Okay, so they have a Woodruff key on that drive shaft that I got out. Now we should be able to get the drive shaft's moving. I'm gonna try to get it out. It's coming out. Yeah, so it came out. And it's gummed up pretty good. So I'm gonna ungum up all these parts and put it back together. It ought to spin free. Okay, so with the help of some carb cleaner and WD-40 and some soaking in my berry chem, I got all the parts cleaned, and wiped them down with WD-40, and even got this bearing inside here was frozen, and I was able to soak it and oil it and get it freed up. It spins with the drive shaft in it. So looking good, ready to put it back together, see if she's freed up. I'm gonna set my camera up and do that now. All right, so I got all my parts cleaned, all light coat of oil on them to make sure they spin. There's a bearing that sits right in the back of this. I'm gonna turn my light on. Hope I don't blind you. There's a bearing that sits right in the back here. I wasn't able to free up those bearings in there, but the shaft that fits in it spins freely. Spins freely, so I'm gonna let it go. I got it greased up. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the drive shaft in up through the bottom and put the Boudreaux key in it so it holds it in place so we can put the pinion gear on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bearing in. Add a little grease to it. Okay, bearing's in place. Now let's try the shaft. We'll take the shaft and I'll put a little grease on it so that when I go to insert it in the slot, it'll stay. Here's the shaft. There's the slot for the Boudreaux key. Got the Boudreaux key in place. I'm gonna put the washer. I think I should have put the washer first. Yeah, washer goes first. The Boudreaux key, and then now the pinion gear. Got to line it up with the slot. Now the saddle. And now the main gear. Have to do a little tapping to get it in. I think I did it wrong. I think the washer goes on top. So put the drive pin in first. And I'll put the pinion gear. Then I put the washer, the saddle, and put the bearing first. Saddle. Still don't fit. take the washer off and it fits perfect. And it spins. I believe the washer goes right here. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. I'm going to put the cap on it and we'll see how it works. Ain't right. See, this saddle is offset. I think I had it on this side. I'm going to try making it go through this side. Yeah, that did it. If you don't pay attention when you take it apart, you don't put it back together right. It spins. Don't spin at all. Let's take it apart and try again. Okay, so if I loosen the screws just a tiny bit, it spins great. So when I took it apart, there was a gasket between here and there that tore all apart. And I'm sure that gasket, distance of that gasket, it's what's applying the pressure when I tighten it up. Yeah, I barely tighten it and it's harder. So that gasket is bad. Now I got to try to find a gasket for that thing. But I can do it. I know I can do it. Stay tuned when I get the gasket. Well, I couldn't find the gasket. That's what's tough about working on these older motors. They don't make the gaskets, and if they do, they're hard to find. So I decided I ordered me some gasket material and a punch set to punch the holes, and I'm going to learn how to make a gasket. I'm going to make a gasket for this 1945 9.7 horsepower. So that concludes episode 2. Episode 3 will be about making a gasket and getting the gear case put back together. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. See y'all next time. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making it. If you did, hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button and catch all my videos. You know, my passion are these vintage outboard motors. Johnson and Evinrude, 1950s, 60s, and 70s, 3 horsepower to 18 horsepower. I think I have all the videos, over 500 videos, on everything you need to know to repair, service, and restore your vintage outboard motors. I have all the parts, all the videos, and all the parts manuals for you to do that. I love what I do. The best way to reach me is on my website, tmikesvintageoutboards.com. You go to that website, I have links for everything you need. I have links for all the parts you need. If you don't know the parts you need, there's a link called the Parts Broker where you can fill out the form and submit it to me, and I'll find your part for you. All right. I also have a link for a mail-in repair service where you can ship me your carburetor, your gear case, or your magneto. I'll repair it, video it, put it on YouTube, and ship it back to you. I also have a link for technical consulting. If you have a question, just fill out the link. There's a donation page if you want to help pay T-Mike, and I'll answer your question and get back to you. That's the best way to reach me, is on my website, tmikesvintageoutboards.com. I love what I do. It's been a great ride. And remember, always remember, and never forget, here at T-Mike's Vintage Outboards, we're doing it one motor at a time.